Folks, it is 2025, and it feels insane to say this, but there is a live action Jurassic Park movie playing in theaters right now that's not actually bad. That's actually quite enjoyable, and I feel uncomfortable about saying that, but nevertheless, here we are. Tonight in movie reviews, I'm talking Jurassic World Rebirth. Stay tuned. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. I appreciate you tuning in for another brand new review. Tonight, we are talking Jurassic World Rebirth. Yes, believe it or not, we're going to pull a Jurassic Park movie here into our scary movie coverage. And I'm actually stoked to talk about this one with y'all because I enjoyed this film. And that seems insane to say about the Jurassic Park franchise here in 2025, but nevertheless, it is true. So before we break into that, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button, no matter where you're watching or where you're listening. I'm sure some of y'all tuned out the moment I said that there was a good Jurassic Park, Jurassic World movie coming out, but I don't want to waste any time. Let's jump right on into things. Zora Bennett, a mercenary, is hired in order to retrieve DNA from 3 very specific dinosaurs as a way to engineer new medicines, new drugs that the world so desperately needs. But Zora is not taking this expedition to the original Jurassic Park. Instead, she's taking it to another offshore island to where all the mutations and all the dinosaurs that didn't work out for the original park were being created. And there it is, folks. That is Jurassic World Rebirth. Now, from the jump, this film poses an important question to longtime fans of this franchise. What is Jurassic Park, Jurassic World to you? Is it what the original trilogy brought us, which is the awe of dinosaurs and characters being dropped into locations that they absolutely should not be? Chaos ensues. Can they make it out alive? And there's some sort of money MacGuffin with bringing a dinosaur back or getting an egg or DNA or something along those lines. Or is it what the Jurassic World trilogy presented to us instead? The world is tired of dinosaurs. We've had them for decades at this point. It's no longer shock and awe. And instead, now we're debating the ethics of these dinosaurs being alive, the rights that they have, and the science that has been used for this. It can be used to help bring humans back and to clone them and all these other things as well too. It has bigger swings like Fallen Kingdom, but less returns, hence having to bring original characters back like in Dominion. What does the franchise ultimately mean to you? And the thing is that obviously when it comes to box office, there is no wrong answer for this. I am not a fan of the Jurassic World trilogy in the least bit, but I can't argue the fact that those movies make a lot of money. But then again, so did the original Jurassic Park trilogy as well too. And the only movie I've liked since the original one was 3/4 of The Lost World. So the problem is, I can't give you a definitive answer except to say that the original film is one of the best movies of all time. But I love the fact that Gareth Edwards and writer David Koepp, who did the original film, very much force you to kind of take a stance for what you enjoy about this franchise. Now, with the story, this follows along mercenary Zora Bennett, who is hired by a pharmaceutical company to bring a team to one of Jurassic Park's off-island facilities in order to find the DNA of 3 very specific dinosaurs that could be used to create a life-changing drug. Now, once they're there, these mercenaries find themselves having to play heroes as they end up having to rescue a family that was shipwrecked by a mosasaur while on vacation in that area. Both groups end up converging on this island to find the rest of this DNA and make it off alive. And of course, there are expected betrayals, characters being killed off, and a lot of really, really good tense moments here. I was excited to get back to basics and not having to worry about the ties to 6 other films here in this franchise. Right off the back, folks, you do not need to see any other movie here except for the original film to understand what's going on. I think it would help if you saw The Lost World, because then that opens the idea of there being other islands nearby Island Nublar to where Jurassic Park is set, and then it makes sense that of course there's an island here that's working on creating dinosaurs, there's an island here that was the mutations, which is a big part of this film. So you don't need like the characters and all the story that comes from The Lost World, but just seeing that would open you being open to what Rebirth presents to you as well too. But I love the fact that we don't need those ties in there. Not having to worry about other characters and other story points makes this so easily digestible that not only adults but kids can jump into it and just sit back and enjoy dinosaur mayhem again. And that is a big part of why this film is so good here too. We've always had a good blend of action, adventure, and sci-fi, but realistically, it's only the first movie and a good chunk of that second film that really adds in memorable horror experiences with that. Typically, those end up involving like the raptors and the T-Rex, but I think everybody remembers the Dilophosaurus scene with Nedry in that first film, or the Compies with Peter Stormare in The Lost World. And those were actually scary moments, and that's something that the Jurassic Park, Jurassic World franchise has just been sorely lacking. And a lot of the moments they've tried to set up just really haven't worked out. I was especially disappointed with Fallen Kingdom, because the idea of having the Eye Raptor going through that mansion and slowly taking people out, I thought that was a great story and setup. They just did not stick the landing with that, unfortunately, and ended up just being another terrible entry here in the franchise. But focusing this time on, okay, we've shown you plenty of these dinosaurs before here in these films. We're going to try to keep clear from those dinosaurs that we've shown you. Yeah, there's a T-Rex in it for sure, because you got to have a T-Rex in Jurassic Park. But we're going to get away from the raptors that have been a big part of this franchise. And y'all, it is one of the smartest decisions that they could have made here. Love the raptors. The raptors have been a great part across this entire franchise, no matter what film that you're looking at. But they're overused, okay? They are literally the Wendigos in the Until Dawn film, where it's like you could have brought something else out at that point and kept the interest nevertheless. I love the fact that Jurassic World Rebirth doesn't really focus on the dinosaurs that we've seen. The story is established. This island was created to take more risk, and that means that there are a bevy of mutated dinosaurs that don't look like what we've seen here before, and ones that were purposely done as well that were left in a certain way that makes them all the more terrifying. And honestly, it really works here in the scenes where they're taking people out, because we don't necessarily know how bad these dinosaurs are. So seeing them more hungry, more carnivorous, better ways to sneak up and to attack people, so good to get back to scary moments here in a Jurassic Park film. Because again, all the action, adventure, and sci-fi moments, they work as well as they do in any of the other films. I don't need to sell that point to you. That is always going to hit here, but it's so nice to see the horror elements coming back and actually being really good. The characters in this are also incredibly enjoyable as well. I think the Jurassic World trilogy ended up introducing characters that were supposed to be stand-ins for a lot of the people we enjoyed in that original trilogy, and that was a mistake, especially when most of those characters are still alive and you eventually got forced to bring them back. Rebirth does so well by not bringing back any legacy characters at all. Give us something completely detached, and that works amazing here. It honestly made me think a lot of Camp Cretaceous and Chaos Theories, the 2 wonderful Netflix shows that are based in the Jurassic Park, Jurassic World universe. If you haven't seen them, check them out. They are amazing, but not linking these characters to any of these other ones. There's an offhanded line about Dr. Loomis, who's played by Jonathan Bailey, you know, from Wicked, he was a trainee of Alan Grant, and that is about it. We need to learn whether or not we actually want to care about these characters, whether they actually hold any kind of importance for us. And I do feel that wiping the slate clean and just giving us a group of mercenaries is the right way to do it. Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali are likable in so many of the projects that they've done that there wasn't going to be any issues connecting with the audience here with these characters. But then they go and make them much more likable and realistic. Zora is pragmatic. She's thinking about the money that she's going to make off this. But when the idea is presented to her, well, we could save this family. They're right here. Like, it'll take us just a little bit of time to do it. And she's thinking, well, the mission's right here. Like, we could do that and go back. Like, I love that they made Zora very realistic and she had to be softened up as the movie came along. Same with Mahershala Ali. It's very much shown that his character, Duncan Kincaid, does have morals about him. And even though the money is nice, he's not going to be pushed into making a choice that endangers his friends or people that could very easily be in his care. I love that aspect to him. With the Delgado family, again, we got Father Ruben, his eldest daughter Teresa, younger daughter Isabella, and then Teresa's boyfriend Xavier. At first, I was very much worried that this family was going to end up like the kids that were in Jurassic World, because I don't know if you remember those kids that Owen and Claire ended up having to save, but they just did not connect with me as a viewer. And I felt that they very much worked in this one because of the fact that when we're first introduced to them, they're fairly annoying. That breaks down a lot over the course of this film, which actually makes them much more enjoyable at the time we're ending. Xavier ended up being the comic relief of the film. It was fantastic in that role. The connections that these characters made were well earned and not just forced upon us, and that has been solely missing from a Jurassic World movie for quite a while. I'm talking a lot of good here. So what's the bad here with this? I think the bad ultimately comes in is that Rebirth is in an unfortunate position to where it's abundantly clear we need to reboot this franchise. I appreciate the hell out of what Jurassic Park did, but for those of y'all who have read the book, you know that that movie took a lot of liberties with it. And while we all love Jurassic Park, there have been folks, and I am one of them, that have been saying for a while it would be nice to see a lot of the stuff that was explored in that original book and in The Lost World actually realized on screen. That had those Jurassic World movies not existed, I don't know where I would ultimately rank Rebirth at, because I enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. I had feelings that I didn't have at all with the previous three Jurassic World movies. But again, is that because those movies were so bad? I know that's part of it, but I can't tell whether I'm being biased or not by anything else, because I do think that Rebirth is a good film, but I can't ignore the fact that part of that shine is because of the badness that we've gotten so recently here with that. Not only that, but while it does fall into the tones and the storyline of that original film, that story is getting a bit old and tired at this point as well, too. The money MacGuffin, we know the way that's going to end up turning out. Get this DNA. Why give it to the billionaires? Let's give it to everybody. It just feels like something that we can honestly move so past that in this franchise. And we've seen it millions of times, whether it's the Raptors in Jurassic World, the Black Market in Fallen Kingdom and Dominion, whether it's the eggs in Jurassic Park 3, bringing the dinosaurs back to the theme park in the Lost World. It's everywhere. Let's get away from that and just tell a truly self-contained story to where it's not about somebody trying to be out there making millions. Because I do think there is a way to make a Jurassic Park story like that and not having to focus on who's making money ultimately from dinosaurs being brought back or the right people being killed. So if you wrap all of that together, I enjoyed the hell out of Jurassic World Rebirth, but it still only gets a 3.5 out of 5, because I'm not going to lie to you and act like if those other Jurassic World movies didn't exist, that this would be getting as high marks. But that being said, if you're like me and hated those films, you got a lot here to really enjoy, folks. So let me know in the comment section what you ultimately think here about Jurassic World. Let me know whether you were a big fan of those three previous films and I'm just being crazy. And where do you fall on the reboot idea? I know so many people are like just tired of reboots, but it seems like this franchise is right for that. Let me know in the comment section. And of course, get subscribed to my channel, which you can do by going to linktr.ee/T Scary Movie. If you get subscribed, that's going to give you access to the YouTube page for the video versions of the show, your favorite podcasting platforms, the audio-only versions of the show, my Letterboxd page for written reviews and movie rankings throughout the year, my TikTok page for short horror content including movie news, movie premieres, and movie reviews, my Twitch page for horror gaming, and my Fangoria shop page where you can get a 20% discount off anything in the Fangoria shop. Take advantage of that, folks, here, and stay tuned because we got so much great content coming for y'all here soon. Later this week, we begin our coverage of the new Dexter series, Dexter Resurrection. We're going to be talking I Know What You Did Last Summer. We're going to get into the Toxic Avenger together. Folks, so much stuff coming out. I do not want you to miss that. Later this week, I'll also have a review up for Marshmallow. But that's going to do it for me here tonight, y'all. My name is T. We've been talking scary movies. Stay scared.